Welcome back to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So this episode was recorded during the Tetris event, in which a bunch of Tetrominos were added to the spirit board as spirits. Very abstract, but it's also incredibly clever how they were all done. So, first of all, we have the O Tetramino, which I've always just referred to as the square. And I feel like I'm a bit more correct on that one, because to represent it, we have Kirby, who spends this battle transforming himself into a stone, which more often than not turns into a big dang square. And also you have Thwomp there, who itself is a big dang square, and Power Block spawning. Big dang squares, all earthquake causing. Anyway, next up from there we have Count Cannoli from Wario Master of Disguise for the Nintendo DS. Count Cannoli is a gentleman thief, and he serves as Wario's main rival in that game, essentially trying to steal shit from Wario, while Wario, being Wario, tries to steal shit back from him. So that's always fun. The gimmick of this particular battle, though, is that all the items spawning cause transformations of some description. The reason for that is because of the main gimmick of Master of Disguise, where you were able to progress through levels by changing forms. Anyway, this is a big one. Here's a legend spirit, Baby Bowser, the final boss of Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. And if anyone here remembers that boss fight, you already know how this fight's gonna go. It starts off easy, obviously. You have little Baby Bowser, who weirdly is not being played by Bowser Jr., but just a small Bowser. I guess that's to differentiate himself from his son. And yeah, you just kind of curb stomp him. He's not all that challenging. Yes, there's a lava floor, so you do have to put on a lava resistant or immune spirit for this one. In fact, I'd go so far as to say immune, because the whole floor is lava. There is no safe space here. But yeah, just like that final boss fight, that infamous fight, once he goes down, Kamek swoops in, does a little dusting of magic on him, and then you get the real fight. This isn't timed. I feel like this battle, as much as I don't like timed battles, should be timed to represent the floor being gradually destroyed underneath you. But yeah, this is the big fuck off terrifying Baby Bowser that runs into you and tries to absolutely crush you. And yeah, this fight can go very, very badly if you're not using a cheap tactic like I am here. This actually did take me quite a few attempts, and I just got lucky there. He didn't hit me. So next up, we have the T Tetramino. So for this one, we have a Rob whose body structure kind of makes him look like a T, and he's also coloured pink to represent the pink coloration. So Rob's going to be spamming one of his more annoying attacks, the T-shaped attack. Meanwhile, you've got Hammer Bros, who is throwing hammers, which are T-shaped. The platforms on this level, what with the little poles there, are also T-shaped. And the level is constantly flipping, because the T Tetrominos are at their most useful when you flip them around to get them into those tight spaces. Again, a lot of thought went into the Tetris spirits. It's quite impressive. Here is Lyle. Lyle appears in the Animal Crossing series as a health insurance salesman, if you can believe that. Animal Crossing, the well-known children's game series where you can basically injure yourself in order to claim money, to claim insurance payouts. Anyway, for this particular battle, you have Lyle being played by DDD. I guess that kind of makes sense, since Lyle is an otter and DDD is a penguin. They're both somewhat aquatic animals in nature, even though neither of them have any kind of affinity for the sea. And, yeah, in this battle, as he gets to high damage, it boosts his attack and defense power. It buffs him, because that's how health insurance works. When you get injured, you get money. You make that mad profit, though. Let yourself get stung by bees and reap the rewards. So, yeah, with that, this isn't too tricky of a fight. Just need to land a good finishing blow. And that'll do. Good enough. And the next spirit we have is the Bee Dasher from Mario Kart DS. One of my favourite Mario Kart games. I had some good times with that one. So in this battle you have Mario wearing his white clothing to represent his white vehicle. And this is a pretty annoying fight, admittedly. It's just a shitload of Marios running around very quickly and not really letting you get a word in edgeways. Also Shy Guys, and also easy to get knocked off the edge. So yeah, this one could take you quite a while if you haven't got a decent spirit backing you up. Which makes sense, it is an ace battle, so, you know, that's usually how they go. Anyway, I've got one of them down. Now I just need to land some nice clean hits on the other two. Or just wait for them to kill themselves through clumsiness, because yeah, that can happen too. Sometimes the AI doesn't quite know what to do with its characters when they move at such a speed, so here we are, just going to get you to land on that landmine. Come on, you can do it. You can do it right on the mine. Get on that landmine. You piece of shit. Undermining me. Alright, just need to fucking get a clean hit. Look at how little damage he's taken, by the by, with how long this has been going on for as well. There we are. Clean shot. Here's Gulliver, another Animal Crossing character. Gulliver is a pelican who can find himself washed up on the shore of your town. Quite an unlucky fellow. He has a penchant for being caught up in shipwrecks. So, yeah, for that reason, we're playing on this island level right here. Which, you know, as far as Animal Crossing levels go, is a lot more fitting than Smashville would be for him. And you have the strong winds, which, you know, is most likely how his ship got wrecked in the first place. Anyway, other than that, you have a pretty easy fight. So, next up, we have the standard bike. That's 2 Animal Crossings and 2 Mario Karts, all kind of intertwined. I swear I didn't plan this, that was just incidental. So, Mario Kart Wii had a big gimmick that changed Mario Kart forever. They introduced bikes, which allowed you to do wheelies and give yourself little speed boosts. Wario also has a bike, and apparently he doesn't know how to use it. So, next up we have Cereza from Bayonetta. Cereza appears in Bayonetta 1 as a really adorable little girl who appears seemingly out of nowhere and basically gloms onto Bayonetta, considering her to be her mum. Bayonetta, you know, as much as a badass bitch as she is, does take pity on the girl and looks after her for the bulk of the game. Would be an annoying escort mission if not for the fact that Cereza is able to make herself indestructible with a mysterious magic power. And, yeah, it is revealed as the game goes on, spoilers, sorry, that Cereza is the younger version of Bayonetta herself. So yeah. Anyway, she dead. So now we have the L Tetromino and the J. Again, mind-blowing, I never considered them to be letters, but there you go. This fight is great. For the L you have Luigi, and for the T, or the J, sorry, you have Waluigi, whose little emblem on his hat kinda looks like a inverted L. So that is fantastic. What isn't so great for me is the gimmick of swapping left from right controls, disorienting the hell out of me and making me bad at fighting, or worse at fighting than I usually am. The reason for that is because in Tetris, until you get proper good at it and can just recognize them just by a glance, it is so easy to mix up these 2 different blocks. And in certain situations, you can absolutely fuck yourself by placing the wrong one in the wrong spot. So, yeah, to represent that lack of coordination that a lot of players will have, we have swapping controls. And that could have been a lot more painful if Luigi didn't just kill himself. So, here we have the Flies and the Hand from Mario Paint. In the game Mario Paint, there is a secret bonus minigame, which allows you to play as a hand with a fly swatter swatting at flies. In this battle, you are one of the flies. You're not the swatter. You're avoiding the swatter at all costs. And all the dark pits here, flitting around with their little wings, they are also flies. And Donkey Kong right there is kind of a stand-in for the swatter as well. So, yeah, this battle is all about just staying alive as long as you can. I also particularly like the fact that we're playing in the Nintendo stage, the living room, because where else would you be swatting flies with a fly swatter than in your lovely domesticated house? Anyway, this fight's not all too tricky. I actually got a bit ballsy here and decided to try and get some kills, but it's quite hard to do. I mean, you are just one character fighting a whole army, pretty much. Although, fun fact, being an assist trophy, the fly swatter is able to be defeated. So yeah, there is that. This is Lao. Lao is one of the playable characters in Xenoblade Chronicles X. He wields a sniper rifle, which sadly we don't get to see him with here. So instead we get Snake, big rugged manly man, to play him. And Snake is wielding the staff that allows him to do long-range shots. In case I haven't already specified, the staff, as an item, does more damage the further away you are from your opponent, so, sniper rifle. Here's Rocky! This is not too far off from the first battle in this video. Rocky is one of the Kirby enemies who can transform himself. Well, he doesn't transform himself. He can slam down, being a big heavy rock boy. And when Kirby swallows and absorbs him, Kirby is then able to transform into a rock. Which, as we know, is Kirby's down B move. So, yeah, a lot of this battle is just Kirby spamming that, which would be quite challenging for me, if not for the fact that he can be easily grabbed out of it. And a lot of people online don't seem to know that. I've killed so many Kirbys who've spammed the rock move by simply grabbing them. This fight was a fucker. So this is the Eye Tetromino. The Eye Tetromino arguably is the most helpful one in Tetris, hence why it is the ace spirit here. Because it's the one that can actually give you Tetris. It can allow you to clear 4 blocks, or 4 rows, at the same time. Although this battle has Corin spamming his down A attack, which is one of the most irritating air attacks in the game to deal with. And you also have Deoxys with Hyper Beam. You have Ping Pong spawning in to knock that ball around. And yeah, this particular stage is being held up by 2 very long, thin ropes. So everything eye-related is here and in play. But incidentally, it all just happens to be the most annoying thing to deal with. You may have noticed I've put on Healing Shield. That is because these Corins love spamming that move. And that move can be so hard to counter and deal with if you yourself don't have a counter. Which Mario does not. So, yeah, just gotta get one more definitive blow on this piece of shit. And easier said than done. Especially with the ping pong ball flitting in constantly. Yeah, this one can be quite a bastard. Although I've got to say, just to give my overall thoughts on this whole Tetris event. Really, really cool idea. Love how they did it. And it's the first time I noticed something of a trend. Every couple of weeks, they add a new event to the spirit board, adding a few more spirits into the game, which gave me a little worry at first, because it made me think, oh, this LP is going to go on literally forever. But then they're infrequent enough that I don't mind releasing them as bonus videos when this is all said and done, to get us all caught up with the spirit board. Same goes for DLC characters, in fact, because every time they release a new DLC character, there are a bunch of spirits that come with them, so I've thought ahead, I have contingency plans. There goes Corin. This is the ST Falcon appearing in Battle Clash. Battle Clash was a rail shooter game for the SNES. I know that sounds terrible in concept, but the game was played with the Super Scope, a light gun peripheral created specifically for the SNES, and appearing in the Super Smash Bros. Series as a projectile. That is why Samus here is using the Super Scope, whilst donning the colours of the ST Falcon. And we have F-Zero as a stage, because Battle Clash is set in a technological future. And yet another coincidence, here is Lyn, another playable character from Xenoblade Chronicles, and very, very closely affiliated with Lao, who we saw earlier. Lyn's whole deal is that she uses a shield as a weapon, and it's kind of hard to represent that in Smash. I figured they'd maybe just give her a shield, the back shield, but no. Instead, they give her the drill, which I guess the way that she shoots the drill, and then you can throw the drill bit. That's all a way of representing the way you would throw a shield in a corkscrew fashion in order to attack opponents. Also robots. You may have noticed the robots. Yeah, Lyn also has a penchant for technology and robotics. Hence why we've got both Rob and Mega Man, the two robot characters assisting. And Metal Gear chilling out in the background there. Anyway, easy fight. Next up, we have the S and the Z Tetrominos, the last one we're going to see in this video. So to represent an S and a Z, we have Samus, which begins with S, and Zero Suit Samus, beginning with Z. Now, that's already pretty good, but the actual stage we're battling on, it constantly rotates in a way that changes it from an S to a Z, and Samus is spamming her screw attack, which is represented with the little orb that has a S on it. Again, so many clever little details in these Tetris fights. They are some of my favourites, frankly, if not for the Corrin one being a bastard to deal with. And yeah, you can see there that the screw attack item is also spawning, so now I too can embrace the S or the Z, depending on what angle you're looking at it from. So, yeah, good battle here, good fun times. Not too tricky, unlike the eye battle. So, yeah, I just need to get in those last good hits. And hope that the stage, you know, works to my advantage. Because this stage, when you're not paying attention to it and how it rotates, can lead to some unfortunate deaths. It's very easy to fall off the edge of this one. Anyway, done. Those are the Tetris battles. Alessandro Inzaghi, the first commander you team up with in the game Napoleon, a strategy game for the Game Boy Advance in which you played as Napoleon Bonaparte. Now that's already pretty wild that this guy got into Smash, even as a spirit. But what's even better is the fact that we have Solid Snake playing him because, you know, military trained and such. And we're playing on a ship to represent France's naval conquests. Goddamn this game. Anyway, next up we have the mythical Pokemon, Deoxys. Deoxys appeared in Generation 3. It is a Psychic-type legendary, similar to Mewtwo, hence why Mewtwo is playing him. What sets apart Deoxys is the fact that he has a number of alternate forms, and depending on what form he is transformed into, he will end up with one of the highest stats in the game, depending on the corresponding form. For example, his defense form is a nigh indestructible tank who is so goddamn hard to kill, and same can be said for his attack and speed forms. Anyway, as far as this fight goes, you have this Mewtwo using incredibly powerful psychic moves to represent Deoxys' attack form. The one that actually spawned in there to shoot its laser is the speed form. And the stage we're playing on, the Good Egg Galaxy, represents the fact that Deoxys, as a Pokemon, comes from space. It is actually a space virus, if you can believe that. And, yeah, in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, there's a whole episode where you get to go to space in order to stop Deoxys from crashing into the world and creating an Armageddon event in a meteor form. So, yeah, fucking cool Pokemon, cool battle. And it's also a 4-star spirit, so, yeah, if not for the fact that I'm currently playing as Lucas, representing the legendary birds, I probably wouldn't have won this one, because, yeah, Lucas makes for quite a Mewtwo counter. And another Pokemon! Wow, this episode is full of goddamn coincidences. This is Dialga, the legendary Pokemon from Generation 4, and the mascot of its titular game. Well, not titular, but its trademark game, Pokemon Diamond. Dialga is a dragon, a steel-type dragon, who was created by Arceus, Pokemon God, and he controls time. If you ever wanted a Pokemon version of Dio, here he is. It's Dialga. So, yeah, playing him, we have Lucario, which is a strange choice. I figured that maybe Corrin would have been more fitting for a dragon. But then again, I guess the reason it's Lucario is because of his energy attacks, and Dialga does like his energy blasts. Particularly his move Roar of Time, which functions like a more powerful Hyper Beam. Basically kills you by shooting time itself at you. Yeah, another very cool Pokemon. Another very overpowered Pokemon. Here is Kagashina Kurabe. This is the lead character of NintendoComplete, a puzzle dungeon crawler game for the DSi. So to represent the dungeon crawly nature of NintendoComplete, we are currently playing on the Great Cave Offensive, which is quite an expansive sprawling stage with many traps and pitfalls, namely lava. And yeah, easy win. As are most of the battles where you can insta-kill your foes with lava. So, taking a little trip to the shops, we're going to pick up Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight can be acquired with the Shovel Knight amiibo, but if you don't have it, you gotta go to the shops to buy him. He's the main character of his own series, in which you pay loving homage to the Mega Man games with a shovel. Also the Super Mushroom, the thing that makes Mario big. So that's certainly that. And on top of that, we have Goligan. Goligan is the talking staff who belongs to Kuldra, the goddess in the game Culdcept, which we lightly addressed earlier. And one more thing before we finish, it's time for some light summoning. So, first summon we're going to address is the Thwomp here, by putting together the Rock Pikmin, and also Rocky, two very rocky characters. We get the big, terrifying, crushing enemies from the Mario series. No Thwomp King, sadly. It'd be really cool if this upgraded into the Thwomp King from Mario 64, but, you know, whatever, it's all good. Arguably, normal Thwomps are far more dangerous than him anyway. So, on top of that, speaking of Mario, we can put together... God damn it. We can put together Metal Mario, a Super Mushroom, and a Fire Flower to give ourselves Mario in his most dangerous and potent form. The Gold Mario from New Super Mario Bros. This gives you super armor, so you do not flinch. Good spirit. On top of that, if we level up Rodan, we turn him into his super boss form. Rodan, the Infinite One.